Welcome to DIY with Gayle in the Ketchikan Public Library. All right, you guys, I am really excited. It turns out Lisa made these things called Explorer kits, and I snagged the knitting one, and we're going to open it together and find out about them. There's a whole bunch of different ones. Off the top of my head, of course, I don't remember anything except painting, quilling, and this one, because my mind is on this one. Okay, I put the rubber band around it. I couldn't help myself. I was not opening it until it was just us. So, there are these kits. This one happens to be the knitting kit. You get to check it out for 3 whole weeks and try everything out. Oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. There's even some yarn in here. So you can try out your new. Okay, so we have the knitting needles with the cords on them. Oh, you guys, you should try these for sure. So you can, if you've never done it before, you can find out for yourself if you like the wood. These happen to be wood. Really nice. Look at the different sizes. Oh, wow. That is great. Okay, so there's a sheet that lists everything that's in it, so that's cool. So I'll know that I have everything back in there when I'm done. There's a beginner's book, first time knitting. Woo-hoo-hoo. Ooh, I almost feel like I'm the first one to crack it open. Did you hear it? Oh, yes. Oh, fabulous. Here's one using with the cords on them there. How awesome. All right, so there's some patterns in here, some beginner stuff. All right. So if you do not have supplies to try knitting, here's your chance to give it a try. There's, oh my gosh, everything you can imagine is in there. Anything you would need to try knitting is in this kit. This is awesome. And again, if you are a knitter already, remember to check out our books and movies. We do have several knitting movies now. Oops, I got quilting up there. Let's take the quilting one down. But there are knitting videos. And I'm going to show you how to do a stitch. It is a beginner stitch. And all we're going to do, it's called the Garter Stitch. And it's just a knit stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Yours will not be as big as this. We're just going to do a small square. But doesn't it look like a fancy stitch? It's very, very simple. And I'm going to show you how to do that and inspire you to stop by the library and check out the Explorer kits. Look at that. And all you need to do is to make a rectangle, and you can have a shawl, a prayer scarf, whatever. Make it narrow, and you can make a nice scarf for around your neck for this winter. Okay, this is for practice. This is so you can get to where you can do the stitches and stuff and they are uniform. And that for me was the hardest thing to do. I'm going to tell you something. I wanted to learn how to knit, and we didn't have knitting needles. It was back in the days. Let's just say that. And my library certainly did not have a kit like this. So I sharpened 2 pencils and learned how to knit with 2 pencils. So if you have the desire to knit, stop by the library and get the kit. All right, I'll meet you in the chair for some knitting. All right. Here we are at the comfy chair. Pick a very comfy chair to sit and do your knitting in. You want a chair where you can actually move your elbows freely. okay? Because that is all that's basically going to be moving is your hands and elbows, and you do not want to be bumping the chair arms or anything. I did choose a set of knitting needles out of the bag. I did want to mention, seeing I'm using this as a beginning knitters video, that on most sets of knitting needles, they will tell you the size on them. This one, it actually does have a size on here. It took me a while to find it. And it says it's a 9.0 millimeters, okay? I don't know what size that is in US, so I had to go get out my handy dandy knitting needles myself. And this is what it says, 9.0, and switch it around, and it's 13 in US. If you don't have another knitting needle to compare it to and figure out what's what, they do make this great little deal here. And it has all the little holes that count up, and in our case it'll be a 13, and it does fit perfectly in that little 13, okay? And so that's how you tell your size if you don't know. So that's one little gadget, and that's my little gadget that is not in the bag. I just wanted to show that to you, okay? So today we are going to practice a stitch, and that stitch, if you just go along, can be turned into an infinity scarf, okay? I don't want you to feel like you're wasting your time practicing, which there is never a waste of time when you're practicing, no matter what it is, because practice just makes everything go better. So you can make this wonderful little infinity scarf, okay? Or a regular scarf. You just go as long as you want. If you want to make a square and call it good, totally fine. But today I'm going to say we're making an infinity scarf, okay? Now to start, you're going to make a slip stitch. I don't do it with the needle because I am very clumsy. So I cross and pull my loop through, okay? Leaving, oops, hang on you guys, I did that wrong. Okay, we're gonna leave a tail. Leave a tail, leave a long tail. This is the side that's gonna end up on your knitting needle, the tail side. So you will need enough to make the amount you want. Again, cross and pull. Then one side will make it tight, one side will make it loose. Stick it on your knitting needle. All right, Nathan, I'd like you to come around behind me so we can film it from the back here, okay? Okay, then I'm taking my yarn just like this. This is the one that has the tail. I'm holding my yarn, okay? I'm going to go by my thumb and get that one. By my thumb and grab. See how my thumb comes back around? And it's making a cross right there. And then I'm grabbing that tail. Pull gently, but not firmly. You do not want it tight on your needle. So again, I'm holding it like this. I have these fingers controlling, these two fingers controlling. I pull it down, go up by my thumb, grab, and come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And as you can see, as you go, for so many, the yarns, looks like it's unraveling or what is it? It's a turn. So just make sure you let go every once in a while so it keeps there. What did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think I'm going to leave it at 15, you guys. I'm going to make a very narrow one because I just want to show you. All right, so I have them on here. I still have that nice long tail. That's okay. We're going to keep it. Now I want the one that's connected to the ball in my fingers. I knit differently than others because I was a crocheter first. So the way I hold my yarn over here is different. Okay, going in to the back, grab the yarn and pull it back through. And this is where learning to control your needles comes in, because you can slip and slide all over. In, grab, in, and grab. This is called the knit stitch. It makes a cute little loopy loop there, okay? In and grab, in, grab. And I'm moving my product, the yarn on the needle, with my thumb. And I'm holding the other ones back because as I pull it off the needle, it pulls these other ones up and they will go flying off the needle. So a lot of this is just practice holding your needle and using your needle. Now I gave you a small amount of stitches on here simply because I want you to play. And this is going to make a cute little scarf, so it's still going to be adorable, but I'm not going to finish it, of course. I'm going to put it back in the bag. All right, let's see. Now I pulled that one a little bit tight. Did you see how hard that was to get on there a little bit? And that one loosened up. Make sure you have the same amount of loops that we started with. And then all we're going to do is turn, and we're going to do the same thing. Poke it in. This is called the knit stitch. I think I said that already, but I'm going to tell you again, the knit stitch. Poke it in, grab the yarn, poke it in, and grab the yarn. Move your fingers up so that moves your loops up, and just keep going. Make sure you don't split your yarn, meaning when you put your hook in, you don't accidentally go into the yarn and split it. Sometimes it happens, especially in the back. I can't even make it happen right now, but it does happen. Just take your needle back out and redo, okay? So here we go. In, grab. In, grab, and slide it off. In, grab, slide it off. Grab, slide it off. And you will get a routine going, okay? Spread it back out so you can look at it. And I'll turn it over. And on this side you can see the actual knit stitch. That's what the knit stitch looks like. And then you're going to see this little bump ridge come in. That is what is called a purl stitch, but we're not even doing that, okay? And yet it's appearing on our scarf, okay? I'm going to put that down so I can show you here. So here's that ridge that we're making, and here's that knit stitch between it, okay? All right, I'm going to whip out a couple of more so you get the look of the materials that we're creating. And that's what's really cool about this. You are creating your own materials, your own piece of material. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yay! And every time you get to your 15 count, it'll make you feel good because you did it right. If you lose one, don't worry about it. This is practice, you guys. Practice, practice, practice. I'm going to turn again, and I'm going to do 2 more of these so that we can see it. 2 more rows, and I'll try and make them sort of quick, but not too quick because I want you to be able to see. And I will say the wooden ones, this set does not slide very well. I am having an issue with the sliding, so I want you to know that. And basically you sit here until you've done 3 million stitches. Okay, it's not really 3 million, but it's going to feel like that after a while. But once you get going and you don't have to look as hard to make sure you're getting your stitches, you can do this in front of TV, listening to your talking book, whatever, because it ends up being routine after a million stitches. All right, I'm going to do this one, and then we'll look at it again, okay? So you're poking it in and just grabbing it from the back. That's all you have to remember. And look at my finger move. That's the crocheter move, okay? Knitters have this fancy way of throwing the yarn. I'm sorry, I cannot do it. I end up tied up. It looks like a Garfield cartoon or something. So, as I said, oops, a little piece of fuzz. This is a crocheter's move. They call it continental knitting when you do it this way. And if you look in the book, it will show you several different ways to hold your product. All right, so there it is. This is what it's going to look like. The bigger the needle that you use, the more space you will have here between your two ridges. And this is that garter stitch. It's beautiful. So when you get to the end, after you've done, as I said, 1 million stitches or a 500,000 rows, then you're going to want to end it. And I'm going to show you how to do that so that you can make this entire scarf yourself. And I actually found where it's put together here. So I'm going to go here and we're going to show you how to, this is called binding off, okay? So I'm going to go in and crochet it just like I did before. I mean knit, sorry, I'm on knit. Knit the second one. Now, once you have 2 on this hook, come back over and take this one off. See that? 1 on there. Knit. Take it off. See that? Knit. Take that one over the top. Knit. Take it over the top. And there. See how it's ending? And it's beautiful. It's a nice end. And believe me, I have a lot of practice here, so if you're going to be, you will be sitting there doing some numbers like this, trying to get it off. Don't worry about it. It will eventually come, okay? All right. And then once you get them all off, you can grab a sewing needle, not a sewing needle, a yarn sewing needle, one of those with the bigger eyes. Okay, I'm going to stop right here for a minute. I want to show you something. So let's say the phone rang or something, okay? Or the baby's crying, and I'm sitting here with my knitting. What am I going to do? I don't want to lose my hooks. And that's when you pop open that bag or that container. And this is for the ends of your knitting needles. So you can put them down and not lose your stitches, okay? So I thought I'd better show you a couple of things out of there. So those are wonderful. And of course I grabbed the little ones. There's a set of bigger ones in here that was better. The needle that I was talking about for stitching is this one, all right? So we'll carry on down there. And this is for counting stitches. You can put this on here if you're making special motifs on your or design it on your knitting. This is to hold your spot to tell you, hey, that's where I started that little motif. Same with this one, stitch for stitch counting, just a little different. Okay, and then of course your little scissors. All right, so I'm going to pop those back off. I just wanted to show you what those were for. All right, let's finish binding off. So back knit, take it off, knit, take it off, and knit, and the last one, take it off. All right, so you end up at the very end with one on there, okay? And clip your yarn with these cute little scissors and just pull that through the loop. And there's your finished piece. Now, you can leave that just be a long, long, long piece, or you can put it together like this one was. And all you do is take your two ends, and this is so short, it's gonna look kind of funky doing it. But you take your two ends, and then you have those tails. And this is why we leave tails. Get it? I'm so bad at threading the needle. Thread your needle. Put your two ends together. And then just go stitching it up. This is just a whip stitch. And it literally looks like you're whipping. Where'd it go? There it is. So all I'm doing is going across and picking up the stitch from the bottom and the top of my scarf. And it kind of looks funky here because it's so small. But there you go. It just disappears. And I'm going to pull open this one that is done. I'm going to turn it over here. And that's all it is it's just stitched together. This is the back side, the side that you don't normally see. And if I pull, see, it just disappears. All right, you guys, have fun, give it a try, and come on in and try our new Explorer bags. They are, well, as you can see, very interesting. There are acrylic painting, there's jewelry making, trying to think of the one with the paper, quilling, knitting, crocheting. There's even a loom, and those round knitting loom ones too. So come on in. Sorry, I wish I had the names of them all. I just can't remember off the top of my head right here. And my notes I left somewhere else. So have fun, give it a try, and see you at the library.